welcome back to the channel. So the other day I had a request from somebody if they could view my VSTs. So VSTs are plugins, sound plugins for the Wave Link app or for any other sound software that you're using. So I'm going to run through them in detail and talk through why I use them and how they enhance my voice for streaming. If you're new to the channel, I'm a variety streamer over on Twitch. You can find me at Tactical. Something will be popping up somewhere on the screen. Make sure you go check me out. And if you've got any questions, there's a Discord down below where you can ask me for advice or any tips and tricks. But yeah, let's get into it. So how do we install these VSTs audio plugins? So for me, I'm using the Wave Link and it's fairly easy. So the four that I'm going to talk to you about today, out of those, two of them are actually Elgato already. So it makes it a lot easier to add them into your software. If you just go to add effect and get more audio effects, it will take you to their marketplace. And their marketplace has quite a few different things that will be useful out of the bat. The first thing is noise removal. Now, noise removal is fantastic. If you've got loud fans, if you've got pets or kids running around, this is really useful for actually just blocking that noise off and just taking the initial bit of audio that you want. So I'm going to show you that one first, and to get it, you just click get. It'll link you back to Wave Link, and you'll now have this option where you can go in here, Elgato, and you'll have noise removal. So let's take a look at the noise removal plugin. So if you click on here next to where you've added your noise removal plugin, you should get this settings bar. And then what we're going to want to do is have a look at this. So we've got a very, very simple UI for this. You've either got noise removal or you haven't. And that's what I like about this. It's nice and user-friendly. It's nice and easy. I'm not a sound engineer. So this is really useful, but there are a few different settings that I'm going to go through as well. So if you click on this settings bar here, you get noise gate, which is essentially how much noise do you want to be removed from your area. So I've got mine about 88. Like I said, I'm not in a very loud environment anyway. And then the release is how quickly you want that noise removal to switch on and switch off. So obviously when I'm talking, the noise removal has to allow for my voice. So I have mine at about 121. I found that to be quite a nice happy medium. So the next one I want to look at is Compressor. And that's another Elgato one, obviously. So I'm going to drag this over here so you can see it. So this, when you first load this up, obviously I've already used this. It comes up with a sound sampler. So you can sample your own voice and learn your own peaks and have that play over. So you can automatically tune this. For me, what this does is it basically just captures any of the really loud notes and it just compresses them. It stops them from going too far. This is also really useful if you've got people on voice chat. You can actually apply this to people on your voice chat. If you've got someone who is really loud, and we all have someone who's really loud, you can turn them down a little bit and just remove those high notes. So for me, I've got mine set to about 18 decibels, which just trims off the top level of my voice. Obviously, this will be different for everyone else, so make sure you play about with this and try and find your own settings. If you're looking advanced again, so this is what I use. So I've got a ratio of 4:1, an attack of 10. So how much should we go in on the peaks that are going over that compression? And again, release. So this gets released at 247 milliseconds. The gain as well. So this is how much gain to apply if you're actually compressing the sound. And that's pretty much it. So feel free to have a look at these. These are pretty much the base from what I've been looking at online. These are the sort of standards, but it might be different for your own voice. So just have a play about with these until you get it right. So that's the easy ones out of the way. So how do you install non-Elgato plugins? So the first one, and I like this one because it's called De-Esser, and this is literally for de-essing your voice. If you've got a sound in your mic, which can get quite annoying, especially on stream, then this is the one for you. So to be able to get it, there's a link in the description for the T-De-Esser, and you should go on a website like this. So this is by Technovation, and it's completely free. You don't need the pro version, and once you download this, it should open up in your download folder with a VST file. Okay, so once you've got that VST file, you need to go into your settings in Wave Link, go to audio effects, and it'll tell you exactly where your folder is, where you should put all your VST files. Once you've added the VST file to this particular folder, you can then scan your folders and it will detect if you've got a new one. To double check, you should be able to see all the available plugins in here. If you can't, I would double check that you've put it in the right folder, or just rescan again. So once you've got it in there, let's have a look at what it actually does. So let's open this. So it's quite an easy one actually, and there's not a lot here to look at. You know, a lot of this stuff is for the pro version. The main thing is here. So what we want to do is we want to try and reduce the S's coming from your mic. So best way to test this is by doing as follows. So you see, if I sort of hit around this mark, so I want to reduce that drastically. So I go for about minus 44 decibels. And if you're using Wave Link, you can click this to hear your own voice. I've turned it off because I hate the sound of my own voice, but that is how you would test it. So I leave it around 44. It knocks off about half of the S's for me. That's not a technical term, that's just how it works. So for the next one, you're going to follow the same sort of instructions, but this one's for TDR Nova. So this is, again, it's down in the description if you want to download it. It's another free plugin. Thank you very much to TDR for that. And what this is, let me just pop this up here. So this is your equalizer. Now this is probably the most complex one out of the bunch. So to go through this, I'm going to do my best without my sound engineer head on, because I'm not a sound engineer. But I have watched a fair few videos and watched a fair few tutorials on how to get the best out of this. So the first one, you can click on this one here, and then you want to drag this slightly up. Okay, this is all going to be very different for everyone's voices. It took me a while to sort of get the right levels right, but for me, this is what works. For the second one here, you want to drag and create a point and just move that down a bit. So just drop the amount of decibels coming out there. That's like your mid-range. And then for your high range, I've just increased mine a little bit. I saw a lot of videos where this was a bit higher. So if that works for you, it might work for you. That's fine. And just take note here of the gain, the frequency. You know, like I say, I'm not an engineer, but this is just stuff that I've found on the internet and it's worked for me. So it might work for you, but this is definitely by far probably the most complex of it. But yeah, these are my settings. So just take note of those at the bottom. And if you want to use those, you can go ahead and use those, and you can have that smooth, silky voice. So that's pretty much everything. Obviously, there's more that you can add. There are a ton of VSTs about there. Some are paid for, some are free. You can also find loads on the Elgato marketplace. But that's what I use, and it seems to work for me okay. Yeah, there was a lot of, definitely a lot of trial and error with this, and I did find that having the Cloudlifter did give me a bit of a boost. Currently running at, you know, I'm in that green section, whereas without the Cloudlifter, I was sort of here, sort of around that orangey red section. So if you are thinking about getting a Cloudlifter or a FET head or something else like that to give you some more positive gain, then go for it. Another setting that I might show you that I've just discovered is this wave gain lock, which is really useful because I had some applications changing the amount of gain that I had and upping it and lowering it depending on what application I was in. Put that on and it stopped doing it. It was very confusing, especially on stream. If you found this video useful, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. I'm going to do some more. The next one that I've got planned is a soundboard. And it should be very interesting, so please stick around for that. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitch. I'm live most days. So yeah, I hope this was useful, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.